Alright. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to part 3 of AstralGames, day 146. We are going to continue the story. We're on the main quest, or one of the main quests. And we're going to explore a tower. The tower, with a machine in it. And a woman with a scar over her heart, or something. The massive stone door of the tower is sealed, and there doesn't appear to be any way of opening it. Speak the words that you learned from the Latin Key Acolyte. Speak, friend, and enter. Melon. You hear rumbles and clanks from hidden tumblers as the door unlocks. Ooh. We've learned the secret word.
Yeah.
Watermelon. Oh. Bam. Immediately in the gunman. With some monsters there. Take heed.
See this meat.
Uh-oh, skeletal wizard. No, you focus on skeletal wizard. Do you have some chance? There we go. Summon skeletons to fight the skeleton. Perfect. It should be good.
Let's go.
We got this. Yep, some vessel, flesh, and some bone. I still don't know where to use it for, but whatever. Trindig's letter. Dearest mother and father, you will be pleased to hear that I have learned much already since coming to the city. There are many incredible ruins nearby, and Master Greg has allowed me to accompany him on a number of expeditions. I am writing to you from inside an ancient Angwithan tower. There's an entire district built up around it, but the locals have mostly left the tower untouched. They have let us set up temporary living quarters here, so our work can continue uninterrupted. It is an unsettling place at times, but Master Greg has been a constant comfort. And he is quick to remind me that the things we learn from this tower may one day help us find a cure for Waidwen's legacy. I'd better get some rest now, Mr. Greg. Mr. Greg likes to get an early start to the day. For those of you who don't know, Waidwen's legacy is a disease, and people are trying all manner of things to try and find a cure, including animancy. Crumpled page from Aldham's journal, day 7. A week of study, and we're still none the wiser about this device. Trindig remains optimistic. I don't know what I'll do without his spirit. Essence shimmers and pulsates within the strange device. The mattress is lumpy and smells of old straw, but whoever slept here last made it neatly. Oh, there are more skeletons.
Wait. See this. It's me.
Okay, that mage can do his thing, which is crap, but we can't reach him. Oh wow, your endurance is low, sir. Addiction commands appear dazing any enemies in the area of effect. Holy shit. Can you daze them all? Oh, they're already dead. Never mind. Splat. Want your bones?
Sure.
I'm gathering them for God knows what. I want the gold. Patting the sketchy old coverlet thickens the air with dust. No one has used this bed in weeks. I wouldn't use the bed if there were skeletons about. This tower reminds me of the starting area from Planescape. Torment. Okay. Psalm to Woodica. Potion of Power. Instant use of attack speed, max endurance. Incorporating the restorative, if volatile, powers of necromancy tinged bones. This foul-smelling but potent elixir is of undeniable worth in a fight. For it can give even the most hapless of fighters the effectiveness of an aged veteran. Page from Eldhelm's Journal, Day 2. We've completed our measurements of the machine. Thanks to Trindic's youthful agility, further examination is required to discover its intended use.
Sure.
Okay. Something tells me we're going to find more pages. Alright. There's more parts of the machine.
See this meat. Yeah.
Okay, the priest himself is suffering from, do we have some anti-undead spell? Or we could just go that way. Well, it's going too well to use any of his spells. We could summon skeletons to help us out. Alright, fire your gun! Oh.
Yeah.
We need to fire guns. We good. More undead.
See this meat. Let's go.
Okay. That was easy enough. Letter from Icantha, Aldhelm. I did indeed receive your recent summons, as well as the two that came before it. I've been waiting for you to present yourself on my doorstep so that I could give you my answer in person. A firm and unwavering no. I won't help you. In fact, I relish the idea of you and your team of glorified engineers sitting in that tower, sweating over the ruins I've studied for years. Nothing gives me greater pleasure than knowing that my research, which you've long disparaged, is the missing piece in your mundane little puzzle. As you well know, it's knowledge I've always valued. I'm just around the corner. I encourage you to find me should you wish to rehash this conversation in person. Yours truly, Icantha. She obviously doesn't like them. Arcane Dampener of Intellect 1. We don't have a spellcaster with us, so I don't think that ring will be worth much. Tijan. Mirror image. Folded page from Adam's Journal. Day 10. Patrons grow impatient with the lack of quantifiable results. They should drag themselves out of their mansions and spend a few nights here, if they think it is so easy. The pulling, pounding energy in the machine feeds even stronger up here. Out of the way. One skeleton. Page from Aldum's Journal, day 11. Finally got out of the tower to clear our heads. Beasts dig the patrons. We'll finish the study on our own terms, our own time. Just as I said much to Trindig, the sky came to life with stray lightning. I said it's a good omen, but the poor lad spooked. Only cure for that is a good night's sleep. To invoke lurking. Yeah, this game has all the lurkers lurking, but that's fine. I have enough to read. And enough to discover. Scroll of light endurance. Our priest can do light endurance without a scroll. Ooh, a purple one. The Works of Engwithens, a comprehensive guide. Scroll contains a pen and ink diagram of the Adra device running through the tower. Despite copious measurements and carefully drawn detail, it gives no indication of the machine's purpose. Thusly, they failed. Why can't I... There we go.
Nice and slow.
Oh, no, just some scrolls. Okay.
Yeah.
All the spells. Yeah, next floor. Oh. Stop your lurking about. I need to gather my party before venturing forth. Oh god. This
Sure.
again. Hopefully it's saved. The top of the tower. I'm on top of the world. Hey!
Configuration. Still nothing. Confounded device.
Dude. Sup? Old hell. A man hunches over a strange mechanism. His spine, sharp ridge rising from his arched back. He's barely clothed in filthy rags, and the patches of skin you see are mottled green. A spoiled stench emanates from him. He's so intent on his work that he doesn't notice you until your shadow falls over him. When he turns and sees you... Oh, thanks for the host, Bookfish. Also, go follow Bookfish R35. Definitely worth your follow and an amazing streamer in their own right. Also hosts our D&D campaign, if you want to see that. When he turns and sees you, he snarls and scuttles behind the Adra pedestal. Only his bare teeth seem to have escaped decay. His eyes are yellowed and bloodshot, but they flicker with intelligence. He averts his gaze and holds a hand in front of his face. No, I guess he doesn't like that.
Shouldn't be here. What do you want?
Give me a reason not to cleave you in half, me lord. Who and what are you?
15 years at Brackenbury. 7 tours to the ruins beyond Solace Vale. I'm an animancer. Still an animancer.
His gaze lights on the Adra post with sudden recognition. He starts to turn back to the copper dials. Hey, Neo Riceland. What up, man? How are things? Tell me what happened there.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
He smashes a fist into the Adra pillar. His hand makes a crunching noise but doesn't bleed. I'm an undead.
Forgive me. Forgive me.
He covers his face with the other hand. He's like this crawling undead in the corner, like no, like golem-esque thing.
Research. We came to do research on the tower. Some commission from gods. It hardly matters now.
Some commission from gods? Given the catastrophe that followed, the commission and your research might matter a great deal. Keep talking.
Something happened on our 11th night. Lights in the sky and a static charge in the air. But we were so careful. We were staying in the chambers below. Trindig, my assistant, said he saw a robed figure lurking around the tower. Wore a mask. Carried knives at his sides. A trick of shadows, I told him. The next morning, we felt strange. Like we hadn't eaten in weeks. So dazed that we didn't at first notice the blood around our beds. The strange wounds that had appeared overnight.
Okay. So robed figure, got it. Wore a mask, carried knives, got it. And wounds and stuff, yep, got it.
And the machine. This cursed spire. Dormant for 2,000 years. Lifeless through hundreds of our experiments. And we wake that morning to find it spinning on its own. On its own! How can we stop what we couldn't start?
Machine starts spinning, okay. Got that. As exciting as the prospect of a living machine may be, I suspect that given the mention of a machine and a masked figure both, there is another explanation.
Years I've been doing this. Years. I know how these things work, but I don't know how this happened. I don't know where to go. That's the problem. Their souls are trapped here like flies in a jar, clinging to rotting meat.
Slow it down. What does the machine have to do with the souls?
No time to slow down. But I can explain. Hold a magnet over iron splinters and they stick, yes? Rub your hand over weir wool and the hair of your head will follow it. So it is with this machine.
He looks at you and runs his tongue along the edges of his fine, strong teeth. He quickly looks away.
It has the power to manipulate souls, but why? For what? And how many others lie buried in the ruins of Erglonfath? No. Focus on this one. It's imprisoned our souls in our bodies. Cut the root between essence and flesh. Left a dwindling soul stuck in a shriveling husk.
Okay, so it's a prison. For souls. There was a stranger in the tower the night this happened?
I didn't see him. My assistant, he saw him. We laughed. Said he was spooked by the cemetery. Perhaps it was already too late. I don't know what he did. But by morning the machine was on and we were slain. People were already on the streets, complaining of neighbors and family members acting strangely.
You're not on the street?
Not yet. But I will be. My body is dead. My soul, imprisoned in this corpse, only makes it seem otherwise. And as the body decays, so does the mind. until nothing is left but the hunger. The only way to forestall the process is through a regular infusion of essence. Living flesh is the only ready supply.
Okay, so they need essence to feed. So basically vampiric zombies with souls trapped in a machine. Okay, got it so far.
I'm not proud of any of it. Hunting men and women in the early days of the affliction. Picking off soldiers that came to investigate. But I'd do it again. I'll do it as long as I must to end this disaster. You could help. Help me end this. Help me find sustenance.
What happened to the rest of your team?
By the time I realized what had happened, the district had already been sealed. So we fed when we needed, and locked ourselves in the tower to work. And then there came a time when the hunger struck, and there was hardly anyone left.
How can I help?
Not your help I need. It's Harridan, shrew. Squanders her research on frivolities, then refuses to make herself useful. Runes. The runes are the last part of the puzzle. Acantha knows them. She gives them to you, and you can turn the machine off. Release our souls.
Wait, ruins? And within ruins? She can read them? He speaks of this feat so blandly. Let's talk instead to this Harridan, Talos Vrukan. I'd pick her thoughts a time. She wasn't here the night the machine came on, staying with a patron somewhere near. Too good to be burdened with our ignorant company. I'll get the words from Acantha.
Yes. Acantha. She was here. In the district. Probably here still. Always prepared. Clever lady, that one. And perhaps you bring me something. Something to keep me sharp. Then I show you a secret about the machine. Something to make you strong.
Oh, no. Will he accept Durance? Oh, yes. Either is like, well, this Durance guy, I don't like him. Here. Go be his food. Oh, man. GG, Adir. GG, Adir. A jagged Adir pillar rises in front of you, encased in stonework and run through with copper veins. Unintelligible ruins cover the panel. Sunburst of copper filaments surround a dial that looks to be about twice the size of a hen's egg. Filaments cross and diverge, ending in bead-tipped nodes. Each wire has a point of origin somewhere along the edge of the dial. Runes are inscribed. Yeah, let's not turn the dial until we know something. Average adventure completed. Admiral Bookfish returns to the stronghold. Good going, Bookfish. With 968 experience and minor reputation with Twin Elms. Spoils await. GG, Bookfish. Proceed to the bottom. Alright.
Sure.
Let's go find this Acantha person. Maybe she knows the incantation that we need. Oh, thing. Da-da-da-da. We don't even know where to look, do we? Find Acantha. I need to speak with Acantha and Heritage Hill. According to the note, she was a neighbor. Could I show me a vision? Oh, we already read that. Ooh! I missed something there. Oil. Rope and grappling hook. Interesting. Icanthus house. Well, there we go. Let's go visiting Icantha. 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 Pillars of Eternity has been localized in several languages. If you would like to experience the game in a different language, you can do so through the options menu. Can I turn it into Dutch? Do you start with 6 people in the party or do you recruit them? You encounter them along the way, Neo Raceland. You start with just yourself. At the beginning of the game, you get 1 companion, I believe. Like straight at the beginning, like when the game starts, you're thrusted into a conversation. You do this conversation, and like the moment that conversation ends, you haven't moved an inch yet. You get a second companion. And then you do like a few quests and stuff, and then you pick up a few other companions along the way and all that stuff. It's rather organic and going through as the story flows. They've done that aspect of the game quite well, I'd have to say.
You return. What if you come seeking this time?
Oh, it's that woman! Right, so this woman, I talked to her when I was here on the quest where the woman thought she was dead, but wasn't dead, but it was. And I talked to her, and she was the one who didn't go all crazy and shit. Probably because she has the words, but I need those words.
That fool Aldhelm. He sent you, didn't he? I can hardly believe he's had the cleverness to survive. That simpleton thinks he can understand how to use something without understanding what it is, or why it is.
You feel a hot core of pride smoldering at the center of her soul.
He dabbles with ancient and powerful devices, with all the finesse of a blacksmith. He sends you here to petition me for aid after years of disparaging my research. I'll bet he didn't even tell you the tower's name, did he? That's his problem. Always looking for solutions without caring for meaning.
Humble Aldhelm now by demonstrating the value of your research. My silence demonstrates it more succinctly. The words fan the strange goals at the center of soul. Problems of Heritage Hill are bigger than your rivalry. What do I care? I prepare myself for an eventuality such as this, and I can assure you those dwindling souls in the streets are beyond caring as well. Her bright burns brighter still. Tell me the tower's name.
Ter Nuneth. It's called Ter Nuneth. They built the machine atop it to contain souls, hold them in place. But the others I've seen, machines scattered all over the Deerwood, are relays, built to move souls.
You seem to know a lot about Ter Nuneth.
I read the runes like a journal. I understand their meaning. People like Aldhelm try to read them like instructions, and in so doing, they miss their true meaning completely.
Where would they move souls?
Another mystery. Hypothetically, anywhere they wished. The real question, as always, is why? To intermix them the way a player shuffles his deck, the way a farmer rotates his fields? To collect them, like butterflies under glass? To melt them down for raw essence?
For essence.
Unfortunately, I don't know.
Why would the Angwithans have wanted to tether souls like this? Yeah, she doesn't know probably, but...
Perhaps they didn't. Perhaps that's why they built no other machines like this one. We now see the Angwithans as masters of soul manipulation. But they couldn't have attained their expertise without copious trial and error. Perhaps this was one such experiment.
How do you operate the machine?
Back to these Tinker's concerns. And what would you do with these tethered souls if I told you?
I'd release them.
So you say. And just what would you release them to? They'd abandon their existence here for another somewhere else, equally aimless and meaningless.
I could help you, but I won't. The pride locked in her soul flares up, twisting into the shape of something that writhes and squeals within her. Here, I have specimens aplenty and time enough to observe them all. It's every scientist's dream. My answer is no. What? But what good is observing all this if you're going to hoard it for yourself? Tell her Talas Vulcan, an entire language at your fingertips, and she hides it away. You're dead. Why does any of this matter? Because my research will outlive me. I'll have the time and opportunity enough to accomplish more than any animancer in the history of the field. And who will know about it? The bright thing flickers as the flames around it abate. All I've learned, years of studying in Within language, no one understands it better than me. That counts for something. Knowledge is meaningless unless it's shared. A foolish and false sentiment. Knowledge is meaning. It needs no external purpose. The opportunities here are finite. One day your knowledge will die with you. You're wrong, but there's no conviction in her voice. I'll build it forever. I'll cling to it. That will give me something. Her pride hisses and sputters. It is little more than an ember now. Teach me what you know. I'll make sure that it grows and your legacy lives on. Your words finally quench her pride, and all that remains is a blackened diamond hard rock. You cast it away where it melts into darkness.
So be it. My studies and efforts shall grow through yours. These are the words you need.
Her cold, dry fingertips rest on your temples, and you feel her reaching into your mind, forming images from the darkness. Runes flash through your head, but they are no longer just pictures. They have meaning, and you understand them. They are commands. Something triggers in your mind, a distant memory unearthed from a past life long since buried. You can see a vast array of ruins, far more than Acantha has shown you, and you know their sound and their meaning and how they fit together. The language of Angwith at once and more at your command.
Something has awakened in your mind. You understand far more than I ever did. Take this knowledge then, and do what you will with Ter Nuneth. Now that you understand its purpose, it will serve you in whatever way you wish.
Hey, Caroling Nuas. What up? How are you doing, man? A speaker of dead tongues now. And so he surpasses 100 frustrated scholars in the matter of few moments. I don't suppose you could look at a few books for me? Why would the Angwithans have wanted that? Moving souls. Explain how the control words work. Harnessing the power of Tir Nulith is about understanding what it was designed to do. You know the words and their meanings, you can speak to them, and the tower shall obey. What do I do with the tower now that I know these words?
I expect. That will be easy now that you can read the runes. The vessels would still roam, but striking them down would return their essence to the cycle. But be careful. That machine controls hundreds of souls, and that volume of essence could easily overload it. Improperly channeling the essence would destroy the machine along with the souls. It would be a terrible loss for posterity.
I don't want to destroy the souls. I don't know, destroying seems like it might do this place some good. Really? You think, guys, destroying people's souls would be the good answer here? I don't know. Is this like destroy the machine and sacrifice the souls in order for it not to be used again kind of crap? Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. I'm still undecided. My first instinct is to just release the souls, but they might be right. With just releasing the souls, the machine would still be able to work and recapture it. Aldhelm looks much worse than before. His rotten flesh hangs loosely, and sores have eaten away patches of skin at his joints. He looks at you with a strange glimmer in his eyes.
Flesh.
Takes a tentative scuttling step towards you. He doubles over, coughing up strings of black bile. He seems to have forgotten about you for the moment. Now that I understand the Inwithan language, I can return to the machine and do something about the curse. Aldhelm has degenerated significantly. He looked ready to pounce on me when I tried to talk to him. If I want his help, I'll need to send a victim to him. Yeah, screw that. I'll figure this out myself. Jagged under a pillar rise in front of you, encased in the stonework, blah, blah, which you can now understand. You recognize the words for end and for hold. The dial is currently fixed on hold. You also recognize by an inscription that the manner in which you turn the dial is a means of throttling the device. Decision time! Oh. On one hand, I want to release the souls, but on the other, if I can destroy the device and make sure that in the future it can no longer be used, then it might save more people than it will end. Decision time, decision time. I mean, I know from the history of this world that if you leave something with much power around, it will probably be abused again. So my first instinct said just release the souls and be done with it. But now that I stand in front of the decision, I'm kind of inclined to just destroy the whole thing and be sure it never gets used again. Decisions. Eeny, meeny, miny, moo. Yeah, rip the 100 souls. I am going for the overload, I think. That would be the best. Overloading the device. Rip. Muttering a command to give the dial a violent twist. The moving spires spin faster and faster, wobbling from their axis. The light filling the machine quickly becomes too bright to behold. You look away and cover your ears. The thunderous crash that follows shakes the floor beneath you. When you look back, the machine is in ruins, never to be used again. Okay, cool.
Still and silent. It's finally over.
What if it doesn't overload? Oh, it did. Yeah, I was like, it's decisions, but it seems we made the right decision on this end. I think this is good. I think this is the best. I think this is the best. Now people can't use the machine again, if ever that knowledge falls into the wrong hands once again. I mean, I know there were not a lot of people who knew about the whole Inwithan language kind of thing, so it wasn't very likely to happen, but it always finds its way. knowing the history of this world, it always repeats itself. So I just wanted to make sure. Alright, Undying Heritage done. This wasn't the leaden key thing, so I think we good. I think we can go to Twin Elms. Or Direford first. Direford first. Mysterious ruins outside of Direford. That's what we're going to search for now. That's the next thing on the list. Da 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 da. To Direford. The tower! It's off! Does this mean the curse on Heritage Hill is lifted? I guess. I just moved the dial around and the machine and it exploded. I don't know. Defiance Bay owes me. I'd better get a manor in Brackenbury for this. It wasn't a curse, but yeah, the district is safe again. I think it will be some time before anyone will be willing to settle in the district again, but at least we can get started on restoring it. Perfect. Alright. To Direford. To Direford village. Oh, we haven't explored this place yet? Interesting. Oh. What's that? Who are these? Feral druids? Okay. Oh crap. You turn into something big. That's not good. Whoa! Holy crap. Can you do the thing? Jeez, so many lightning. Restore major entrance and not a moment too soon. Jesus, these lightnings. Durance, you better run, man. You better run and restore endurance there.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a big battle. Fine battle axe. Fine flail. Some potions. Some lockpicks. Alright, woo! Close, but we did it. Also, the construction was complete, which means we get to do something else. We need more security, I know that much. A craft hall. There you go. Get more security and more prestige. Very nice. We we want to follow the road, but the road isn't is taking us where we need to go. More feral druids? No, just lions. Okay. You have a castle and buy upgrades for it? Yep. Yes, you do. Oh wow, the endurance. Do the holy circle thing. Circle of holiness.
Yeah.
Oh crap. Do your revival. Let's see. You do the restore endurance one, and can you? Oh.
Following your lead.
Move there. Oh, it's only one left. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. Fire.
All right then.
Ah, my main character. No. All right, let's camp here. My main character is almost dead again. He's not good in tanking, taking hits and stuff. Oh, we still don't know what happened to the guy because we couldn't get his note or something. Oh, it's just his helm? Okay. So it was just a random encounter? I should just go up because Direford Village is that way. Elder Line? Oh shit. You can use your pool thing, right?
Hey.
Okay, that didn't help. Oh! Oh crap. Holy cow, it was down to 2, yeah. That... These lions, though. The pillar of fate.
The Faru beyond sea.
Bam! That took care of that lion.
Yeah.
Jeez. Too many lions! I know,
Sure.
right? Well, we can travel here, good. That road only takes us to the other edge of the map, to Twin Elms, but we need to go to Diafat. Too many lions. So many lions? Alright. Through that gate, yes. Find someone in town. And immediately we come across a building. How long we gotta stand here? Cobbled woman. Until we find her? Medrath, an elf idles by the road watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach and the cowled figure standing near him falls silent.
Greetings.
So a smile forms as he eyes you. I've heard of you. Word has it you've been busy in Defiance Bay. I'm busy too, and eager to finish my business and get back to the city. Sounds like we're both too busy standing around chatting none. Right to the point. Just the kind of person I need to find her. What? Haven't you heard? There's a murderer on the loose. Said to have gone mad with grief and strangled a dozen healthy children when her own was hollowborn. He nods at the figures with him. We've come all the way from Defiance Bay to bring her to justice. She's here? She's hiding out in the village. We'd go in after her ourselves, but the problem is she knows our faces. There's no telling what she'd do if she saw us coming, and we like to avoid any further unnecessary bloodshed. Her name's Nifra. She's an Orlan. We want to get her out of town so that we can deal with her cleanly. She knows we're looking for her, but if someone were to convince her that it's safe to leave... If she's a mass murderer, why didn't the Duck send Crucible Knights after her? The powers that want to keep things quiet. For obvious reasons, better not to cause a fuss, and certainly better not startle her into doing something drastic. This is shady. Hey, Chromatic Cat, welcome back. I could draw her out though. She won't know you, it will be simple. What did Nifra do exactly? She was responsible for the murder of all these babies in Defiance Bay, remember? Terrible thing, but we'll make her pay, alright?
Gods keep you.
I didn't hear about a mass murder of babies when I was in Defiance. Cold and sick, major case of the shivers. Oh man, sorry to hear. Sorry. I hope you'll feel well soon. There's this one thing about this whole story, is that when I was in Defiance Bay, I heard of all these terrible things, except an entire mass murder of babies. So... Huh. Alright, here we go guys, 3 souls to go through. Vasily Raskolnikov. You see a Zorip gurgle gently as it falls to the ground, the victim of a small blade through the throat. A tall man in dark armor wipes the blade clean on his cloak before padding onwards towards the next guard. Another flash and the second Zorip is down, and the next, and the next. Finally, a scout spots him and raises a shout. Between one step and another, the man smoothly deposits the knife in his boot and draws 2 longswords, decapitating the closest Zorip in the process. He makes no sound but the sleek whistle of his blades as they pass through monster after monster, before one lodges in the skull of one particularly hard-headed specimen. Unable to break it free, he discards his other sword and reaches for his spellbook. A cone of flame erupts from his hands, boiling the skin from 3 agonized Zorips nearby and causing the remaining to scatter. The earth shakes and spikes of rock begin to pierce the surface as a nearby Zorip High Priest attacks. A moment too late as the bespelled man moves unnaturally quickly from ground to ground, attacking the remaining Zorips with sword and spell. Sweat burns his eyes as he conjures an enormous ball of fire, sending it screaming through the air towards the High Priest and her remaining followers. Nothing but charred corpses remains after it passes. He falls to his knees, panting. Almost 80 Zorip have fallen around him. Just as he moves to get up, the ground begins to shake once more. Twice. 3 times. Huge footsteps, and then he dives behind a rock spike. A returning volley of fire singeing his cloak. The Drake has noticed him. Ooh. Artevin Selwintus. You see a fallen log lying on the moss-covered ground. The surrounding woods are quiet, everything calm and undisturbed. A small bird lands on one end of the log, warming itself in the sun. The man emerges from the trees, moving quickly but not quite running. He places each foot with a deliberate precision, making almost no noise. He jumps, landing on the log and runs along its length. Only when he reaches the end does the bird take flight, startled, as if it didn't realize he was there. He jumps down from the log, landing next to a tree with a small branch jutting out from just above the waist level. He grabs the branch and pulls himself forward, giving him a short-lived burst of speed. He is coming to the edge of the forest, and buildings can now be seen through the trees. Sounds of life make their way through the air into his ears. He leans forward, running to push his way through the tree line and onto the road beyond. He pulls himself up short and looks around, breathing heavily from the exertion. Emote hype! He doesn't seem to find what he's looking for. He takes a place leaning on a nearby building. Several minutes pass and he smiles, pushing himself off the wall and walking out to meet a figure running up the road, breathing heavily and shaking its head. He informs the figure that he's going to have to try harder if there's any chance of beating him. Puts an arm around the other man's shoulder, reminds him that there was an ale at stake, and says it's about time to pay up. And the final soul, Reinru Helsigerai. You see this woman lounging on a large divan. She takes dates from an ornate glass bowl and stuffs them absent-mindedly into her mouth while she stares out the window. She's unkempt, half-dressed, and occasionally yawns, seeming bored with her surroundings. Her room shares the same unkempt look as if it hasn't been cleaned in weeks. A layer of dust covers everything, clothes and partially eaten food litter on the floor, and the furniture is in need of upkeep and repair. Friends emotes just went live on his channel. Nice! Whoop! A knock comes from the door to her chamber and she lets out a quiet grunt, ignoring it. She grabs another handful of dates and starts throwing them into the air, one at a time, attempting to catch them in her mouth. She frequently misses, the dates bouncing to the floor, forming a makeshift ring around the divan. The knock comes again and she jumps, missing yet another date, which hits her on the forehead before rolling away. She grunts and looks at the door, exhaling sharply through her nose. A muffled and distant yell comes from somewhere outside the room. That kitty is adorable. Yeah, it's cute. And it's also the love emote. Nice. She rolls over on her side, facing away from the door and pulls a pillow over her head, trying to drown out the noise. She lies there for several minutes, eyes slowly closing as she slips into sleep. The door opens and someone enters the room, hesitantly making his way over to the floor to stand by the divan. He reluctantly reaches out and touches her shoulder, shaking it gently. Pillow falls from her head and she turns to the man, a confrontational look on her face. "Mistress," he says, kneeling before her, "we need your help." The woman sighs heavily, rolling her eyes and starts to stand. She grabs one last handful of dates and walks from the room, chewing noisily. Okay. And we can enter this building. Let's enter this building. Selby? Harbinger
Out
Beodor?
with you. I already told you what. I'm sorry. I thought you were one of those ruffians.
Ruffians? Looks like someone's beaten us here.
How may I help you?
Tell me more about Dialfort. Folk here tend to keep to themselves as they do in most towns this deep in Direwood. They're suspicious of travelers, but with all the brigands and refugees moving through the area, who can blame them? Is there something else? This is a temple of Barath. What can you tell me about? Barath is the most universal of all gods. It oversees portals and cycles of all kinds, even life and death itself. Under Barath, an ending is merely a passage to another beginning. Barath has many representations across time and across cultures. Around the Direwood, you'll commonly see it depicted as the Paladin or the Usher. The Glenfathans, however, know it as Benwyn E. Anku and Anku E. Benwyn. Thanks. Yeah, sure. Can you tell me where to find the ruins?
The Glenfathan tribe that guards the ruins will kill anyone who trespasses there. And they'll retaliate against us too, if history is any indication. We've had too many fortune seekers stir up trouble of late. If I'm to tell you, I'll need to know your reason for wanting to go.
I am here all business for the duck.
If you say so. Whatever goes on in the city nowadays is beyond me. You'll find Cleoban Relag here. Whatever trouble you find there, please end it quietly. And try to stay out of the ruins.
That's the place we needed to go for Adir's quest. What happened to you?
I never saw their faces. Strange hooded men asking about those ruins. Cleoban Relag. Most of the brigands who come through here asking about the ruins are looking for a few ancient trinkets. But these people knew the name, and they were in a hurry.
That sounds like the people we're looking for.
They wanted to know where Cleoban Relag was. I tried to keep it from them, but I couldn't hold out forever. I don't know what they were up to, but it can't be good.
Now well, Father. Alright. We have found the place, but before we go to the place, we first go to Direwood. And before we go to Direwood, we first take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the final break of the day. Wait, I'll do it like this, so the music continues. It's time for the final break of the day. See you guys in a few minutes. Take this time to go to the toilet, take a drink, do whatever it is you need to do. And I'll be back with more pillars after this break.